In this video, we're going to show you all the types of vehicles that we build here at OK 4-Wheel Drive on a day-to-day basis. We have 3 vehicles to show you, so let's get started. Here we have a brand new Ford F-350 that we just got done modifying. Let's take a closer look. So this build was pretty straightforward. Suspension, wheels, and tires, the perfect combo for any truck. Here we have a set of fuel wheels wrapped in 20-inch BFGoodrich HD Terrains. These are 37s, and then behind that we have a 5-inch suspension lift from BDS. Out back, nice and simple, we put in the BDS leaf springs and the Fox shocks. And that wraps up a lift wheels suspension upgrade for a full-size truck. Let's grab the next one and check it out. All right, so behind me is a 392 Jeep JL that is completely outfitted for overlanding. So we're gonna take you in and show you all the parts that we added to it. All right, so we're gonna start at the front of the truck and work our way back. This truck has 17 lights on it. That's 17 accessory lights. So you can see that we have fogs, spots, light bars. There's ditch lights all around up top on the rack. So come in closer, we'll show you around. You can see we added the Warn winch here with a factor 55 link out front. Over to the side, we have a Midland antenna. This is gonna help a lot when you're out traveling to get in touch with your fellow travelers or campers. So you can see up top, right here, we have the Alu-Cab 270-degree shadow awning. Behind that is the Alu-Cab 3R Expedition tent. Inside that, there's a drop-down table and a tilting backrest, so the tent has every accessory that you can add to it. And on top of that, there's solar panels. And we're gonna get to the inside and show you where all those solar panels are going and the batteries that it's charging. All right, so now we're in the back of the Jeep, and you can see that this has Goose Gear's complete seat delete plus the kitchen. We'll get to that in a bit, but you can see here we have the seat deletes with all this storage back here. This is really good for recovery gear, spare jackets, everything like that. So here you can see we have the recovery gear. Right behind that, you can see that we have 200 amp hour batteries, and that's all being controlled by a Redarc system. This is the Alpha 100. Right above that, you can see we have a 200 watt inverter. So this really helps charge any of your household accessories. So let's jump to the back of the truck and check out the rest of it. All right, so out back, this is where all the living takes place. You can see this is the Goose Gear kitchen that we were talking about earlier. So you pull this out, you have a 50-liter A/B classic fridge. And then right below that, you can see we have the Partner Steel 2-burner stove. These are really nice. If you haven't checked out Partner Steel stoves yet, they're a must-have for camping. They're bomber-proof. They're a really good stove when camping. Behind me, you can see that we have the Goose Gear tailgate table. It's always nice to have multiple surfaces to work on. So this is a nice stainless steel table, and right below it is a bamboo cutting board that comes out and really fills the shape of the Jeep tailgate really nicely. So this is a really nice table. You have your cutting board, you got your stainless steel. When you're done, slide it under, click it up, and it takes up no space. It's a really nice touch when you're camping. So that does it for the Jeep JL. Let's take a look at the next vehicle. And behind me, we have a Jeep Gladiator with an Alu-Cab ModCAP Camper and all the fixings. So let's go in and take a closer look. So before we dive into the Gladiator, I wanted to give you a brief overview on ModCAP campers. There's 3 versions of ModCAP campers. You have a flat roof, which is really good for daily use. There's a 2-sleeper, and then there's a family sleeper. This is a 2-sleeper, and the way it works is there's a seam right here, and from there up is how you decide which roof you want to put on. Like I was saying, this one has the 2-sleeper. You could put a 4-sleeper or the flat roof. They're all gonna fit on every ModCAP. There's one for full-size and mid-size trucks. So let's go in for a closer look. All right, so let's start with the outside and work our way in. On the driver's side, you can see here we have the Alu-Cab 270-degree shadow awning. This is gonna span all the way around this side of the camper and cover the back door, so give you tons of outdoor living space and protection from the sun and bad weather. Alrighty, here we have the GP Factor propane tank mount and propane tank. This is a 13-pound propane tank. The way it works is you're gonna pop these 2 latches, pull this guy forward, and let the propane tank come down. The propane tank can't fall on you or chop off your toes. It keeps it in its cage. You take it out from the top, just like that. And when it comes time to put it back in, Just set it in the cage, tilt it up, push back, and attach the latches. And then on the back door, you can see this is the GP Factor mount for your Max Tracks. This will hold up to 4 Max Tracks. It's lockable. Next to that, we have another quick disconnect of propane. This is so you can connect your stove while you're cooking outside. And then next to that, you can see this is the spigot for the Alu-Cab 13-gallon water tank inside. All right, so now onto the back door of the ModCAP. So here you can see we have the GP Factor MOLLE panels. These are really good to put some storage bags, first aid kit. Also good to put your utensils up here because right below it, you can see we have the GP Factor tailgate table. So hit those 2 latches. Down comes a stainless steel table, and then you can slide out your cutting board. And then the final addition, you can see we have the 813 electric door latch. Here on the bulkhead, you can see that we have the Alu-Cab 13-gallon water tank. It's a really good use of space. You can see we put the MOLLE panel on top of that. Again, really good to mount more storage containers. You can also notice here that we have a water spigot on this side. There's also a provision on the other side for a water spigot. This one's gonna go to the hot water heater. The other one's gonna be gravity fed to go to the back of the camper like we saw on the outside of the door. At the rear of the camper, you can see the Dickinson and GP Factor fireplace kit here. This is the P9000 fireplace. This fireplace is fed by the propane like we showed you on the outside. It's simple to start. You just hold down the ignite button and put a lighter in there and click it and it'll start the fire. Really nice touch. It also helps with the humidity and the condensation. All right, so on each opening of the ModCAP, you'll see the Alu-Cab Mozzie nets. What this is for, it's to allow you to leave your doors open while with keeping all the bugs out. There's also privacy fabric as well. So if you wanted to have it dark and keep your doors open, so all you had to do is unzip the inner panel so you could see outside. You can do that as well, but it's a really nice way to keep all the bugs out, but let that daylight in. All right, so now we're inside the camper and you can see this has a full Goose Gear interior. This has 3 cubby modules and a 2-drawer module system, as well as the base plate and a bulkhead. It's a mouthful. What this does is it gives you tons of places to store stuff. So you have your cubbies that are good for your bigger stuff, pillows, chairs, recovery gear. Drawers are really good for cooking equipment, food, clothing. The client also built out this camper with some standard 110 outlets that you'd find in your house. That is all connected to a 200-watt inverter, so he could charge his phones. You could probably even run a blender in here. It's really nice. He also has an additional inverter for 12-volt sockets. And then behind this panel is where we have the 100 amp hour battery stored, as well as all the connections. So if there was ever an issue with the Redarc GP Factor power board you see here, we could just go into this cubby and diagnose it all in one spot. So a little bit more about the GP Factor Redarc Manager 30 power board you see here. This is how you control all the electronics in what we call the house battery. So that is all your electronics found here in the camper. It won't affect the starter battery found underneath the hood of the truck. What's nice about this is you can also connect this to an app on your phone. So when you pull into camp, if you're not ready to get out of the front of the vehicle, you can already have all the lights and outlets turned on from inside the cab of the truck. There's also some USB and 12-volt sockets found here on the side. Another really nice touch from GP Factor. So now we're up in the sleeping area of the ModCAP. You can see we have some storage cubbies up top. This is a nice place to leave like an extra sweatshirt and throw your phone when you're going to bed. The customer also opted for an additional mattress. This is Hess Dually Long mattress. These are some of the nicest mattresses you could find in the overland space. Hess is definitely the way to go if you're looking to upgrade your sleeping area. So that is a look at what we're doing here at OK 4-Wheel Drive on a daily basis. If you have a build that you want to get done, give us a call and we'll get you on a schedule today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.